And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho, broadcasting live once again from Stygia. You can see the lovely river Styx here behind me. I guess there's souls in it, I don't know. And I've been bitten by Stygian mosquitoes, and I probably now have the Crimson Curse, if you were wondering. Today's video is all about the story of two sunspots, as another one grew right behind sunspot 2778. We've got 2778 and 2779, and the radial flux suddenly up to 88 solar flux units, a level we haven't seen since 2017. We'll get to it. First, we're looking at the solar disk here in 131 angstroms. You can see that sunspot suddenly grow there in the lower right of your screen. Right there, it just materializes into existence. And a big and sudden increase in that radial flux. Now, we've got some helioviewer movies. First, I would like to talk about our mission real quick. If you're not familiar with it, you can read all about it at smAshomash.com/forum/mission. It's smAshomash.com/forum/mission. Anyway, the mission is to assist, study, and report on the ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics, to raise the awareness of the general public of the relationship between space weather and Earth effects, to connect and consult with media organizations to multiply our reach, hence this video and others like it, to demonstrate cutting-edge proof-of-concept solutions to problems, to publish scientific papers in a multidisciplinary manner, including the sciences that you see on your screen there, not limited to them though. Also to assist mankind by advancing the study of predictive phenomenon in order to optimize value, reduce risk and liability, save lives and resources, and adapt no matter what the adversity is, and to not be ossified in our beliefs, and to treat those who are with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion. Because if you're ossified in your beliefs, you're not doing science. You need to be attempting to disprove your own hypotheses. Thanks to our patrons, the real source of content for the videos. Please consider becoming a patron. We need lots more funding to accomplish our 2020 goals. It's patreon.com/smAshomash. Again, our patrons are the real source of funding for the content. Thanks for your contributions, patrons. Next, we're looking at these custom helioviewer movies. Allow me to vanish. And here's 304 angstroms North Pole region. And we're showing you this because there's a giant filament here draped across the solar surface here, right in this area. There's a filament there, and we've seen a whole bunch of coronal mass ejections come out of that region. Also some filamentary activity rising there over the northeast. And we've got some fantastic close-ups of sunspot 2778 and 79. That's 2778 and 2779. And here's that system. Quite close to each other and quite significant in size here. Especially the leading umbra of sunspot 2778. Just about the same size as the Earth. Here's a 304 angstroms view. You can see a little bit of ejecta coming out there. Not sure if that collapsed back onto the surface of the chromosphere. I think it actually did, as we didn't see any coronal mass ejections. And yes, I did check. And next, just let me check the life of the stream here real quick. And everything looks okay to me here at Stygia, on-site location for the Smash News Network. And here's my personal favorite, the 171 angstroms. Fantastic view. And it looks like the main activity is actually sunspot 2779, which is sort of on the left of the screen there, sort of. And that is the region to keep an eye on. And we actually do see some interaction between those two sunspots also. An interesting and complex group. And actually the chance for larger solar flares and coronal mass ejections has indeed gone up, and there are filaments out there suspended, so there is sort of, there's a round in the chamber, if that makes sense. Again, the radial flux is all the way up to 88 solar flux units, and our patrons would have known that yesterday afternoon. So the radial flux way up here now, just under 90, having been flatlined around the 70 line since late 2017 here. So now we're at levels that we haven't seen since September of 2017, the 10.7 centimeter radial flux. A measurement of the radial output of the outer corona, 88 solar flux units. The KP index currently at 3. In there you can see the last 3 days. A little bit of geomagnetic unrest on the 27th. And we're practically in a C-class flaring background level here. The GO16 long wave X-ray has been in the B-class range here for an extended period. And we see some B-class flaring from the GO16 shortwave as well. So significant flaring, and again, the possibility of more and larger flares. I said it yesterday, the chance for an M-class flare here is a little higher, especially considering those sunspots. They're both beta class, they're both interacting with each other. We don't see any big proton strikes. There is the proton flux over the past 3 days. And we've been showing this lately in preparation for the ramp up to solar maximum, as we've leveraged our channel in such a way to attempt to be sustainable and to not paint ourselves into any COVIDiotic corners. Next, looking at the real-time solar wind, 2C, a recently shifty phi angle, and a recently shifting BTBZ. So you can see the BTBZ just diverged from the 0 line there. Current solar wind density 9.29 protons per cubic centimeter. Current solar wind speed slowly ramped down over the past 24 to 480 kilometers a second. That's still an elevated solar wind speed, but I think the coronal hole high-speed stream is actually subsiding here, about as I forecasted yesterday. So here's the magnetohydrodynamic pressure of the magnetosphere. It's 4 hours of data courtesy University of Michigan. And I'm starting to feel a little strangely. I don't know what's going on. I mean, my coffee, it's just not tasting any good anymore. Maybe only the blood can help me now. Only the blood. I'm sure it's not the Crimson Curse, folks. I was wearing a mask when I got bitten by Stygian mosquitoes. So here are ground magnetic perturbations, and we show this daily. Since we're living through a polar excursion right now, we've got 2 North Poles, one over Siberia, one over Canada, and a South Pole in the southern Indian Ocean, south of Australia. Let's let it play through a second time for all you magnetic reversal types. We see some pulses coming out of the South Pacific Ocean, as we covered last year around this time of year. And there are structures underneath the Earth that are involved with the geomagnetism, that are perhaps changing, and are certainly not well understood. Here's the 3-day GOES magnetometer, and we're seeing just plain old high levels here. And for you new viewers out there, thanks for tuning in, by the way. The M's and N's are midnight and noon local time for the GOES-16, which is an overworked satellite, by the way. Next, looking at the polarity here of the heliospheric current sheet, and as I forecasted yesterday, we are now solidly in the South Pole current sheet, and I would expect us to remain there, barring sudden activity on the Earth-facing portion of the solar disk or rising in the east. Expect to remain South Pole, shown in red, for an extended period here. We'll keep you posted as we do the daily space weather videos daily. Here's the line of sight field plot, which shows you the B field, and you can see it getting yanked down a little bit here toward these active regions in sort of this direction. And no real surprise there. We could have forecasted that if it was even necessary. Lastly, we're looking at the coronal magnetic field plot. This one shows open potential field force lines in black, coronal hole potential field force lines in purple, and closed potential field force lines in pink. It is showing an enduring coronal hole right around the equator here on the east. We're not really seeing that feature so much. We'll look at 193 angstroms later to see if there is indeed an enduring coronal hole there. And welcome to another episode of the Smash Lights. Now, during the Smash Lights, we talk about whatever we want. Sometimes we find ourselves talking about the blood. The blood. Just kidding, folks. I don't have the Crimson Curse. I made my saving throw, and I'm like a level 16, so. Today's featured product is Coleman's Mustard. If you check out smashomash.com/affiliate, you'll find that product on the list. We got a giant shopping list there. It's got PPE, it's got air fryers, it's got all kinds of stuff. Looks like my links have died, but in any case, if you head to smashomash.com/affiliate, one of the products you'll find is Coleman's Mustard. If you've never tried it, you can use it to make things like marinades for your beef. It's a spicy, pretty hot mustard, and actually, I'm a pretty hot mess. And I'm actually wearing a Coleman's shirt today. Yes, 70% hot, 30% mess. Thanks, Coleman's, for being one of our sponsors. Yes, yes, the Coleman's Mustard. You can't have the shirt, but you can follow them on Instagram. So check them out there. Coleman USA on Instagram. And perhaps we'll feature some of their products in some of our recipe videos coming up in the future. Also, check out smAsho on Instagram, instagram.com/smAsho. If you don't, you might not see brilliant quotes like this, which cited by Unziker from Unziker's Real Physics. Maybe check out Unziker's Real Physics also. Georg Christoph Lichtenberg stated, "A part of celebrity's glory is always due to the stupidity of the admirers." Do you know some YouTube channels that might relate to that? Yeah, I've noticed. Anyway, we are streaming live to Twitch today. It's twitch.tv/smashomash, official live streaming platform of the Smash News Network. And we use it because it's simply so good. It's not because we dislike the other streaming platforms. We do stream live to YouTube and to Facebook on a rare occasion. Twitch.tv/smashomash. Let's talk about COVID. Have you gotten a souvenir? Have you headed to smashomash.com and clicked on the smAsho store? No? Well, we'll do it. Smashomash.com, click on the smAsho store, get yourself a souvenir, man. How about a lime green shirt with the purple "I survived a global pandemic" motif? So far. By the way, congrats on surviving a global pandemic so far. Here's the first merch we ever made for the channel. Smasher Price My First Pandemic. And it's got a link to smashomash.org on there. Let's do a rare reference. Please go over and subscribe to Kyle Warner. Now, you may not know who it is. I didn't know he had a YouTube channel until yesterday, and I've been working with the guy for a while. He's only got 40 subs. Let's get this guy up to 100 subscribers. He will be utterly stoked. Here is one of the recent tracks uploaded just on October 17th. Here's a clip. Anyway, go check it out. Kyle Warner. Type in Kyle Warner Autumn Leaves. You'll find his channel right away. Subscribe over there. Tell him Smashomash sent you or whatever. And let's get him to 100 subscribers today. He only needs 60 more. He'll be delighted. And by the way, he is actually releasing a new video on Halloween. So there's something to look forward to. Go subscribe, press notification, and so on. If you enjoy our content, please do the same. Press like, press subscribe, press the notification bell so you receive all alerts about our content. Share the content on your social media, as we've got lots of things to do, and the more coverage that we get, the better off we are. Thanks to all of our viewers, etc. Yeah, share on your social media. Don't forget to branch out into alt tech also. We've got exclusive content on BitChute, such as this one here, Banks of the River Styx BitChute exclusive. Let's talk turkey. Alt tech is the answer. Get on minds.com, get on other alternative social media, as there has been some serious shark jumping. Let's talk about it. Let's play you a clip from this first. So the Banks of the River Styx BitChute exclusive is about overreach meme, the one about Kamala Harris's reach around while she idiotically wears a mask. Anyway, that's what that's about. I just wanted to talk about an article featured here on Zero Hedge. So there's an article on Zero Hedge here about the exchange yesterday between remotely tuning in Jack Dorsey and Ted Cruz. And I just wanted to cite the fact that Ted Cruz said, "Hey, Jack, does Twitter have the ability to affect elections?" And Jack was like, "No." And Ted Cruz was like, "Are you out of your mind?" Anyway, then he actually committed a felony because he told Ted Cruz that he'd be able to post the New York Post article, which got banned. And it caused the entire account for the New York Post, an over 200-year-old newspaper, to get banned from posting on Twitter. Jack told Ted Cruz that he could post the article, and right after the meeting, Ted Cruz tried to post the article and realized that he was incorrect. Now, of course, perhaps he was not intentionally deceiving the senator, but he certainly gave him misinformation at least 2 times. Because if you think Twitter can't affect the election, you need to seriously, seek psychiatric help, because Twitter 100% can and does intentionally affect the election. So does Facebook and Google, especially those 3. Facebook, Google, and Twitter are 100% affecting elections. And if you don't believe me, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to argue. Thou doth protest too much. And here ends today's Smash Lights. Let's move on to talk about more space stuff, such as the Electron Flux, which is very high. Not quite as high as we expected it to get, but when this solar wind stream subsides, it is going to get very high. We've got some significant charging hazards here, mainly south of the equator. And the forecast is for basically level conditions here over the next 3 days, according to NOAA. And I tend to agree with that. It all depends on when the coronal hole high-speed wind stream subsides. Here's the 3-day chart, and we have been well over alert thresholds for quite a while here, over 3 days. Here's a 7-day chart, and you can see coming into warning levels there, getting to very high levels. Here's the visualization of the total electron content forecast, and we see a very high electron content situation here over the Pacific Ocean, the South Pacific, as well as over the West Pacific, and then it subsides. I'll let that play through a second time. And what this is showing you, folks, if you're a new viewer out there, is this is showing the entire air column all the way up to the thermosphere, hundreds of kilometers above the Earth where GPS satellites are located, unlike this one, which is just a one slice, just the ionosphere layer. And ionosphere is looking fairly normal here, and we show this daily to attempt to tie together as many of the variables as we can, as this channel is interested in understanding the physics. There's the current state of affairs of the ionosphere, and look, there's a scary face. Ooh, it's a ghosty, scary face. And here's another one. Oh, nose. Oh, nose. It's scary and spooky. We're all going to die. Oh, nose. Oh, nose. Oh, my God. That image is from 7:45 Universal Time. I like to know what's going on above my head. It's part of the reason why I make the videos. And here is the in-the-sky.org star chart. If you're up before dawn, you may see the moon and Mars making a close pass just south of the ecliptic. Just put in your location if you want to create a star chart for yourself, in-the-sky.org. Next to theplanetstoday.com, I like to use the mobile portion. And we're approaching another full moon on a blue moon Halloween Saturday. It should be an interesting weekend. Let's hope your city doesn't burn to the ground. There's where things will be in a week, on November 5th. Let's hope your city doesn't burn to the ground on November 4th. Yes, yes. And we had an earthquake come in here as we did the early part of the show, it looks like. Let's scroll up the list. One of the largest of the past 24 hours was certainly this 5.6 near Peru, at Peru. Here's a deep quake at Fiji. It's over 500 kilometers deep. Followed by another deep quake about an hour later at Japan, just over 400 kilometers deep. Those are both in the low 4 range. Here's one at the Pacific Antarctic Ridge. I don't remember ever reporting one in that location. It's a 5.4 magnitude. And just going up the list, it looks like we have quite a few quakes here. I think these two are the largest. 5.8 magnitude at depth at Vanuatu and a 5.8 magnitude at Chile. So a little bit of earthquake uptick there, Western South America, and around the Ring of Fire. Here's a deep quake in the Caribbean at the Dominica, which we refer to in the U.S. as the Dominican Republic. I wish we just all called different countries the same thing. I don't mind calling it Deutschland and Österreich and die Schweiz. I don't mind. Here's a 4.3 at Timor-Leste. That one's at depth as well. So a bit of an uptick in deep quakes here. And just scrolling up the list. There's a volcanic downtick, I think. Although Suwanosejima is exploding, flight level 070, 7,000 foot ash plume there. Semeru, 13,000 foot ash plume as it explodes. Dukono, 7,000 foot ash plume there. Sangay, 21,000 foot ash plume there. And Sabancaya exploding, producing a flight level 250 alert. Intermittent emissions are enough to produce a 25,000 foot tall ash plume. Please don't attempt to hang glide over the caldera. And check out the weather.gov map. We got some flash flood watches as a result of Hurricane Zeta, a gang-affiliated hurricane affiliated with Mexican drug cartels. Who knew? And I just wanted to show you the surface winds here as we see this very strange ridge of winds out here off of the coast of British Columbia. Very strange ridge there. I don't always look at that. We usually just look at the jet stream. And there you can see the jet stream finally starting to subside with all the cold air being injected from Canada. And let's view the whole western portion of the planet. There you go. Here are the jet streams of the eastern world. How about some value-added services? One of the things we always do here at the Smash News Network is value-added services. We also like to talk in a stilted fashion and tell you to read our scrolling marquee at the bottom of the screen. As we are tasty and the least busted name in news here at the Smash News Network. This is SNN. Next on windy.com, we're looking at pressure cells, and we'll let this advance into tomorrow so you can see where the GFS forecast is forecasting pressure cells to be located. And I don't know why it's moving so slowly. I'm going to advance this to tomorrow at noon. There's where we think things will be tomorrow at noon in terms of pressure cells. You got a stagnant low pressure cell to your south, Kimberly. That's Australia that I'm talking about, by the way. Please leave us a comment if you're viewing from some other country besides the U.S. or a different planet, plane of existence, from a spaceship, galaxy, or multiverse, or universe. We've got some lightning strike in the U.S. I'm at lightningmaps.org right now. We hope your power is getting turned back on in Oklahoma. And hey, Bartlesville, there's thunder rolling in. Check out lightningmaps.org when you hear thunder. Freak out your foes and impress your friends by telling them that you're Thor by forecasting thunder. Here's the NASA GOES lightning mapper, and we do see some lightning on the southwestern, actually that's the northwestern edge of Hurricane Remnant Zeta. And some incredible lightning here south of the Yucatan Peninsula. Check that out. That is serious. That's just like a constant lightning strike there. Yowzers. Somebody get a photograph of that if you're on the Yucatan. Go outside and look south. Take time-lapse photography and film some sprites. I would bet the farm that there are sprites up there. Perhaps green elves, who knows. Next, looking at the U.S. Doppler Radar Map, and there you can see quite a bit of rain is pushing into my region, which I am not thrilled about. Here's what's going on in the cloud layer. It's dark out. We use the shortwave radiation map. I'm over it. We're going to go to the water vapor map, and I'm going to just zoom in on Tennessee. This will give you an idea of the track. And for you new viewers out there, keep in mind that dry air, such as this air over here, is more massive than moist air. I know it sounds backwards, but it's true, folks. To quote Kurt Angle, it's true. So it's going almost due northeast here. It's almost and it's going to be, it's going to be out in the ocean by tonight. It's moving at a very high speed. And is there anything else we want to take a look at? How about this convergence zone over Nebraska, Kansas area? And you can see there is still some cold air coming down here. If you're on an aircraft flying through those areas, expect some turbulence. And hey, Smash Team, thanks for tuning in. Again, please don't forget to share on your social media. Tell your friends, foes, science noobs, and science pros before I vanish. Don't catch the Crimson Curse. If you come to Stygia, drop me a line. Send me a text or something, and we'll hang. We'll hang by the River Styx. We'll be doing River Styx broadcasts until Halloween. Today's featured shirt is the Mensa shirt. Make Earth not suck again. It's up to you. Are you an international viewer? Well, the shirts ship internationally. Here it is in green. We put it in the UCI colors of blue, black, red, gold, green. And yeah, the Union Cycliste Internationale has nothing to do with this. It's an effort to make Earth not suck again. Thanks for flying, American Smashways. I would remind you to please keep your head and arms inside the Smash plane at all times, as we've got bonus features in the form of a 193 angstroms 2-day SDO video, the intensity gram of the local yellow dwarf, which some people refer to as the sun, and the colorized magnetogram. Here it is. Is this area a sunspot? Not really. I don't think so. And there you have 2778 and 2779, two beta-class sunspots, increasing the probability of M-class flares. There you can see ombre associated with South Pole, North Pole, and here's the 193 angstroms view. Small coronal hole there trailing sunspot 2779, which sort of goes away there. I don't really see a big coronal hole around the equator in the east, but I do see a giant coronal hole known as the North Solar Polar Coronal Hole, as well as the South Solar Polar Coronal Hole. We are out. It's time to end this thing. But look for more content coming soon. Thanks again for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink it. If you do, don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. May that solar wind be at your back and that covidiously absent from your location.